Alright, I have Falcon 4 running in the background. It doesn't record on the screencast softwares, but I got it running in program. I got it paused, and it has 180 chaff and a 60 flare count on that program. And then I've inserted a debug stop down here, and then so we can look over the values once we start it running. So go ahead and execute the program. Remember, we have the chaff box up here, flare box, then the missile launch status in this box. Go ahead and start it up. Okay, it jumped all the way down to our stop. Let's see what we got going here. Go up to the beginning. Alright, so here you see keep running is true because we've hit the start button. And here you see the object created instance created of the shared memory, getting the current data. You can see here, this is live here, so we've got 180 on our chaff count, and our flare count is at 60. Okay, and our text box will show the same thing. See 180 in text box 1, and in text box 2 will show 60. And then our missile launch here, say it's indicating no launch because we're looking for that bit set, that set to a 1 in light bits 2 when we ended this number to this, so that all our bits are ignored except for the launch bit, and obviously that it's not set, so just skip that. We've got our serial port. Let me see, where's my okay, so you can see on here our baud rate set to 2400, data bits at 8, there's COM7, so our parameters are set. If my launch is true, which it's false in this case, and yeah, okay, so we'll go down to the false part because all this other code up here won't be executed unless the missile launch is true. So it skips all this, comes down to here. Or if it's false, which it is in this case, then it'll start executing. Here's our string equal to 180. That's nice. Our flare count equal to 60. Alright, now here is our ASCII or our byte arrays being set up, created. You can see here we've created this for the chaff count. So we got 3 bytes, which makes sense because it's 180. And there's your there's each element in this byte array that have been created for you by the encoding and get bytes method. And of course I manually created one with 4 bytes in this case. And you can see the bytes here. And our flare count, which is 2 bytes, which is 60, makes sense. And each element that will be sent over the line. But first we have to create that, remember we have to create the new byte array that has 9 elements in it, and then combine all these and dump them into this. So here's the creation of this new byte array. It has 9 bytes. And then we'll block copy each one of these. Remember, each one of these arrays will be block copied and then dumped into this new array. And then we're stopped at this point, so we've created this new array, and with 9 bytes, we're getting ready to transmit it. Remember, our port's open, set up for transmitting. Our parameters set. We've got the link to the MCU. We've got our 9-byte array created, and so we'll step through. See, it's going through each one of these looking to see if the length is equivalent to 2 and 1, which it's not, so it's jumping each one of those, and it came down here's to the, now it's going to write. write our 9-byte array. This is a for each loop, which will take each byte in RV and write it out over the serial port that's open now. So it'll go through for each byte in the array. Oh, I should have had my webcam on because it just popped up. I know you can't see it very well, but it just popped up on the display. 180 and 60 with the diamond as soon as we went through there. Continually writing each byte. Until we get a change in values. Because I have Falcon, well, I guess I can try. Let me try going back to Falcon. You probably can't see anything right now. I'll unpause it. Alright, I'm going to unpause it and change. Change 176 and 50 something on the flare count. Alright. Now we're going back up. The start button is still pressed, so it's still true. The boolean's still true. And is Falcon running? Falcon is running. So I'll get the new change. It should show up here. Yeah, see 176 has changed because I went back into Falcon and dumped a couple of chaff and flare. So it's picking up the change. Our flare count is still, well, I have to keep going. See, it was 60, so it should change now. It should be 56. Alright. Very good. So now we have these new values. It'll go down. Remember, there's still also here it's going to print it out on the text box, the new number 176 and the new flare. And then it checks the light bits again. There's no launch, so it'll write out no launch to the text box. And goes to the serial port again. And remember, if it's false, which it is, the launch codes, and it goes down to this to get ready to set up the new byte array that's changed. Because our chaff and flare count have both changed. So once again, it's going to create a new array. It's still 3 bytes because it's still 3 bytes in the chaff. But the values have changed. Even though the lengths haven't changed, the values have changed. And keep going. Here it's created the new RV. It's still going to be 9 bytes long, but with the new values 176 and 56 or whatever that was. And skips all these because remember, we're still at 3 digits on the chaff count, so it's not going to run any of these loops here. It's going to skip over them and go down. Now here it's going to write out the port. It's getting ready to write out the port, the bytes down to the display. And for each byte, I wish I could show wish I could show it on the display here in real time. If I ever get a good camera, I'll be able to. But anyways, let's see, where was I? Anyways, here it's going to iterate through the new 9-bit array with 176, 56, and new change values Going to iterate through them 1 byte at a time. NRV, which see it's 9 bytes, still 9 bytes, but these values are going to be changed here in the chaff and down here in the flare. And the values for the blank aren't going to change, and for the missile launch aren't going to change. And then it's going to write it out the port, our port, write those bytes out to our microcontroller or MCU. Here it's continually iterating through, writing each byte in a 9 byte array. Alright, so it's done that. It's written out the 9 bytes, and it's the thread sleeps for a little bit, and then it repeats all over again. Keep running, still set to true, so it's going to continue. It's going to check, see if Falcon is running. Is Falcon running? If it is, I'm going to do all this stuff down here. Falcon is still running. And look up, create our flight data, our shared memory instance from the class. And because I haven't gone back to change, dump any more flare there, obviously we're still going to have the same values, 176 in the chaff and 56 in the flare count. So you can see it just constantly loops through. As long as Falcon is running, it's going to constantly loop through, checking the values. If any of the values change, and then depending on if there's a missile launch or not, it'll go through, create the 9 byte array, and then send it down to our microcontroller to be displayed on our displays. And this is just a constant looping at both ends. With the microcontroller, it's looping in its main function, its while loop. Up here, that's constantly looping, and this is constantly looping, reading any new data and sending it down to the microcontroller to be displayed. And that's basically what's going on.